Hi everybody, it's me Maria with Nail Nation on Facebook and Nail Nation 3000 here on YouTube. By request, I'm going to do a series of videos that depicts this winter wonderland holiday themed nail design. And also because there's a lot of detail involved in these nails, I'm going to do them for you on a larger tip because, as you can see, this is much larger than any of my nails. This way, those of you who are viewing on mobile or just really need to be able to see the image really clearly in order to copy it, I wanted to make it a little easier for everybody. So I'm going to show you right now everything that we used in the intro. And I'll make it really quick, but that way you don't have to reference the other videos to find the information. And then very quickly before each nail, I'll tell you what we used. You're going to need a series of brushes or painting tools. If you have one brush that you're able to kind of do everything with, then by all means I would, use that brush. But I like to use a series of brushes. So these are just natural Kolinsky hair brushes that I use with the polish. I recommend for everyone OPI brush cleaner if you have access to it. If not, whatever your favorite artificial nail and enhancement brush cleaner. And I also recommend that you get a large bottle and only keep a little bit in the small bottle because it gets kind of gross and you want to empty that out. For the red, that I used in the sleigh, I used Zoya and the name is Isla. Kind of like I'm Not Really a Waitress by OPI. It's a little bit brighter, but anything in this family is really good for that. My background on all 5 nails is Berry M CN Blue. You're going to need something in a royal metallic blue like this, this is Trippy Hippie by Color Club. My black, I just used Blackout by Extreme Wear by Sally Hansen and White On. And this is one of my favorites here. This is the new Sugar Plum Fairy by Color Club. So anything that's kind of in this type of glitter. And then, of course, with the snow highlighting, I used Lorelei's Tiara, which this is the new Eye Candy. And just some really true gold striping. This is for the striping. A dotting tool or a toothpick. Something with a fine end is preferred. A palette for your sponging and detail work. And for this sponging, I used this type of sponge. If you can see the texture, it's not the sponges you use for makeup. This is kind of like a really cheap kitchen sponge. And I used 3 plates for a couple of snowflakes and for a base on the candy cane. I used Conad M5 for these little guys here. I used Conad M12 just for the base of the candy cane here, and I added the white. And then I used Conad M59 for the large snowflake. So we're all done with that for the intro of what we're using. And if you're going to use a brighter red for your detail on your candy cane and for your snowman, I recommend Expressionist Red by Finger Paints. And just a little dollop of any kind of bright orange and yellow for your trees. Or any colors you want. Okay, so now what we're going to do is the candy cane nail. Now for the candy cane nail, in a smaller scale, I used the stamp for the base and then I put the white in it. But what I'm going to do, since this is much larger, is I'm going to polish the candy cane for you so that you can actually see how that's done. For those of you who don't have a stamp like this, and those of you who do, it's pretty explanatory. You stamp it and then just draw the white lines in where the gaps are. So what I'm going to do is just use my regular polish here, my White On, and I'm going to create a big snowflake to put here in the corner of my nail. So you take it and you scrape it off like you normally would. You roll the stamper over just like this, and you're going to take it kind of off the side of your nail, and you're just going to roll that over, and it's going to look like this. And that actually would be the only stamp on this nail if you're not utilizing your candy cane. If you are, you would wait to do the candy cane. The next step will be the snow. So we're going to take some more white like we did before. And we're also going to go ahead and put just a little bit of our blue that we're using to highlight with. And if you're moving quickly and doing your snow all at once, you can actually just use the same sponge because that little bit of blue popping in there is fine. But you're going to follow your slopes. So here where this is going up, this is then going to go down. And you're going to do this on this one a little bit overlapping the bottom of this snowflake, because our candy cane is going to be kind of sticking out of the snowflake. Like this is how the snow is going to go. Same process as before. And we're just putting the blue over it, and then we're going to put a little more white. And you can always pop a little more blue in if you just like the way it comes out that way. Just like this. So then we've already got everything on there except for our flurries and our bow and candy cane. So in lieu of our stamp, as I said, I'm going to take the Red Expressionist from Finger Paints to create my candy cane. Now your candy cane is going to be super, super easy. It really is just like it looks. It's a hook. So we're going to do it at an angle so that it looks like it's sticking out of the snow here. So what we're going to do is basically, if you're doing it, for example, your right hand on your left, you're going to do it this way. Just like this. And you could do a few of them on paper bigger and then practice getting smaller. It's a really good way to do it so that you're not messing up your base color and stuff if you're not comfortable with that motion. So you want to take quite a bit of polish and you're going to gently take it from where we forked it in there. You can even create a little start dot so that you can see where you're going to start from. And you're going to just gently bring that over and create your hook. And you kind of want it to be a little bit of a deep hook since it's a candy cane and you don't want it to just look like a cane sticking out of snow versus the candy canes. And you can always go back and make your bottom part of your hook more rounded, because this probably will come out pointed right here the first few times you do it. And it's going to look like this. And it's really, really simple. If you practice it a little bit, it's going to be much easier than if you just go in cold and try to do it on your nail that first time. I would practice, on paper, even with a pen. You're going to take a little bit of white, and you're at an angle, just going to create a few lines like this along your cane. And be sure that you don't have any red left on the brush or you'll end up with pink. And you're just going to do it at an angle like this. And you can even, for those of you who are comfortable with it, you can do it with curves. And I recommend that you do all your lines and then go back with a little bit more white. Just a tad more white and make it a little brighter, like this. And some of you may have a stamp that you can make your bow with, and some of you may have to make your bow, or you might use a sticker even. But what I'm going to do is take my darker red, which was Zoya Isla, because it has a little bit of pearl in it, and that's what I used to make the sleigh. I'm going to use that to make the bow, and that kind of differentiates between the red candy cane and the red bow. To create my bow, I'm going to do one loop like this, one loop like this, which looks kind of like a butterfly, one pull with a point and another pull with a point, one pull forward with a point, like this, and then another pull forward with a point going the other direction. That's going to create a bow, and then you just simply put your knot in the middle. And it's okay if you fill it in and you don't see a lot of definition on it originally, because you can always go back in with your gold and make that bow look more like a bow. So it's going to be super, super simple. And like I said, you can cheat with stickers and stamps and whatever is easier for you. I just kind of wanted to show people how to do this as well, because a lot of people say, you know, there's a lot of difficulty sometimes when you don't own a specific stamp, or you just don't, you know, have the right tool to do it in an easier way. So you want to learn how to make them. And then we're going to take a little bit of our gold here, and we're just going to add our line here like this in the bow, which gives it that effect of being tied. Then you're going to put small lines in it too, coming from the knot, a small curve in the knot, and then a tiny line on each side there of our ribbon. And it does not have to be perfect, ladies. It's not one of those things that has to be, you know, exactly right, because it's tiny. Again, a lot of people aren't going to see some of the detail until you get up close, and they'll still be very impressed with how much detail there is. So this is our bow, our candy cane, our snow, and our large snowflake. So all we have left to do is to create our flurries with our dotting tool, just like we did in our first nail, which is right here. And you're going to put a few flurries in threes. And again, don't make these exactly the same size. Make your dots a little different. This will give that effect of snowflakes in the distance. And then all we have left is that same process. We're going to add some more of our glitters, which in this case is the eye candy, Lorelei's tiara. You're just going to take your sponge, kind of blend it in so that it's not just gobbed on there. And for the last two nails, I wanted to give it a little more pop with this glitter, so I kind of went back over my corner and sort of didn't sponge it as much. So I sponged it, and then I kind of added a little bit more. Believe it or not, this actually dries really fast too. As long as you let your base color and your polish dry before you top coat it. So this is actually the finished product. All we have to do now is top coat this with 2 coats of top coat. So now we have done the sleigh, the snowman, the tree, and the candy cane. All we have left are our little bells. So this is actually, to me, the very easiest. For some of you, it might be the hardest, because sometimes people have a hard time with this type of shape. But it's super simple, and even if you mess it up a little bit, you can always fix it with the black striper when you put your detail in. So I'm going to show you that in the next video. So come back and see us for that last one.